EXT. Small town. Evening. The sun begins to set over a sleepy town called El Ridge, nestled in a quiet corner of Ohio. The streets are empty except for a few cars. A diner plays soft, familiar 80s rock tunes, and the hardware store smells of sawdust and old socks. Charlie, a 22-year-old college student, walks down the cracked sidewalk, carrying a backpack slung over one shoulder. He's dressed casually, jeans, a hoodie, and sneakers. His face is tired, as though the weight of the world is pressing on his shoulders. Charlie, I'm not the kind of guy who asks for much. Give me some peace, a fridge that works, and enough cash to keep the lights on. That's all I need. And maybe a job that doesn't come with paperwork and unpaid hours. This semester's been tough. Textbooks, rent, there's always something. And the bills keep piling up. Charlie's footsteps slow as he approaches a local newspaper rack sitting on the corner. He stops, glances over, and picks up the classified section. He flicks through it, ads for used cars, dog grooming, and finally, a strange one that catches his eye. Charlie. Night shift, fuel station attendant, no experience necessary, good pay, just one phone number at the bottom, no company name, no description, no logo. It almost felt like a joke, but I didn't care. A paycheck's a paycheck, and right now, that's exactly what I need. Charlie dials the number printed at the bottom of the ad, staring at it with mild disbelief. Charlie. Yeah, I saw your ad in the paper. About the night shift? I'm interested. A moment of silence. The phone call is picked up by someone on the other end. A man with a deep voice. Mason, OS. You're hired. Be there at midnight tomorrow. Don't be late. Charlie blinks, uncertain whether he's been pranked or not. Charlie. Wait. I don't even know where it is. Where's the station? What do I need to bring? Mason, OS. It's off Road 7 near the old fishing lodge. You'll find it. Just be there. Midnight. Don't be late. The line clicks. Charlie holds the phone to his ear for a moment longer, puzzled. Charlie. No resume, no interview, no questions, no nothing. Just a guy named Mason with no last name, telling me to show up at midnight. He shrugs, stuffs the phone back into his pocket, and begins walking away from the newspaper rack, deep in thought. Charlie. Well, at least it's not an internship, EXT. Charlie's apartment. Night. Later that evening, Charlie sits at his small desk in his cluttered apartment. The clock on the wall reads 11:15 p.m. He stares at a pile of textbooks that still need studying for the next semester. Charlie. You know, you spend all these years working hard for a degree, and then you end up stuck in a crappy little apartment, scraping together enough for rent and textbooks. Maybe this job isn't so bad after all. Charlie grabs his jacket and heads out the door, determined. The sound of the door creaking closed echoes as he steps into the chilly night air. XT, dark road, night. Charlie drives down a lonely road, his headlights illuminating the dark, desolate landscape. Flickering streetlights cast erratic glows on the pavement. As he drives further, the road becomes narrower and less populated, the trees lining the sides growing denser, blocking out most of the sky. He glances at the clock. 11:50 p.m. Charlie. Okay, this place is way out here. I don't even see a gas station. What kind of job is this? He passes a bent street sign that reads, Fishing Lodge, burned down, followed by a narrow, almost hidden turnoff in the road. Charlie slows down, turns the wheel, and drives down the rough dirt road, his tires crunching over the gravel. Charlie. This is starting to feel like one of those haunted house movies, just missing the creepy guy with the chainsaw. The road seems to stretch on forever, no signs of life. The only sound is the hum of his car and the occasional creak of old wood from the trees. Charlie. Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Worst case, it's a job for the night and I'm done. After several minutes of driving through thick trees, the road opens up to reveal an old gas station at the end of the path. The station is small and isolated, with a single old gas pump sitting in front of a dusty building. The light above the door flickers intermittently, casting an eerie glow on the weathered signs. Charlie. This is it? Charlie parks his car in front of the station and gets out, his footsteps echoing on the gravel as he walks towards the door. Charlie. All right, let's just see what's inside. Int. Gas station. Night. The door creaks open and Charlie steps. Inside. The air is thick and musty. The overhead lights flicker, casting erratic shadows across the empty station. The floor is a mix of dust and old grime, as though no one has bothered to clean in years. A faint sound of scratching comes from behind the counter. Charlie glances toward the counter and sees the one-eyed cat, Ripley, sitting there, watching him. Its green eye seems to pierce through the dim light, staring at him. Charlie. Well, at least there's a mascot. Charlie walks closer to the counter and sees a single sheet of paper taped to the wall behind it. The paper is yellowing at the edges. The first line, bolded and typed, reads, Rule 1, feed the cat. Charlie stares at it for a moment, then looks at Ripley. The note continues, his name is Ripley. He's an orange tabby with one eye. He likes to sit on the counter, waiting for you. Feed him using the yellow sardines under the register. Ripley is a good cat. Charlie raises an eyebrow, perplexed but still intrigued. Charlie. Okay, Ripley, you're well fed, right? He leans over the counter and sees a box of yellow sardines with the words Watermelon Company written on it in faded blue. He picks up the can, pops it open, and pours the salty, oily sardines into the bowl near the entrance. Just as the note instructed, Ripley trots over and starts eating. Charlie. Well, that's one thing done. What next? Check the locks? He looks at the counter, where another set of rules is written. Charlie. Check the locks. Ignore the screaming. What kind of job is this? Int gas station. Night. The lights flicker again as Charlie watches Ripley devour the sardines from the bowl. The eerie silence of the station presses down on him, and he can't shake the feeling that something is off. Charlie, VO, muttering, I didn't think this was going to be this weird. But hey, at least the cat's happy. Charlie looks around. The station. The shelves are lined with old snacks, cans of energy drinks, and dusty magazines. He moves toward the register. A stack of empty plastic bags sits beside it, ready to be used, but no customers have come through. He places his backpack on the counter and glances at the wall behind the register, where the rules are taped. The paper is yellowing at the edges, almost as if it's been there for years. Charlie, VO, chuckling nervously. Feed the cat, check the locks, clean up. This is starting to feel like some kind of twisted game. As he reads through the rules again, his eyes stop at the next one. Rule 2, check the locks. The note continues. It's all the way in the back, past the freezer section and the old chip aisle. Looks like a normal door, except it's red. There are red chains surrounding it. Make sure they haven't budged. Ignore the screaming. Charlie whispers to himself. The screaming? Great. This place is straight up haunted. He shakes his head, trying to shake off the unease building in his chest. Charlie knows this is strange, but he needs the money, and it's just a weird gas station job. He can't get too freaked out. Charlie, VO, sarcastic. It's just a job, Charlie. Nothing weird going on here at all. He looks around the gas station again, his eyes landing on the old freezer section near the back. The dull hum of the freezers fills the silence as he starts walking toward it, still feeling the weight of Ripley's stare. The freezers are poorly stocked, half empty and forgotten. The only things inside are a few popsicles, some half-melted burritos, and a stack of off-brand frozen meals. The air feels chilly as he walks past, and he shivers despite the warm air outside. Charlie, VO, annoyed. All right, Charlie, focus. It's just a door. Just a stupid locked door. As he approaches the far back aisle, he spots the red door at the end. It stands out against the otherwise dingy white walls, almost as if it doesn't belong. The red chains that wrap around it are thick, some links even showing scratches or dents, as though they've been tampered with. Charlie, VO, curious. What the hell is behind this door? He steps closer, his hand hovering near the padlock. His mind races. The note said, "Ignore the screaming," but now he's enthralled by the mystery. Charlie can't help but feel drawn to it. Charlie whispers to himself, "What's behind you, I wonder? What could be so dangerous?" Suddenly, a faint sound reaches his ears, a low, distant scream. It's not loud, but it's enough to make Charlie freeze. The scream is faint, almost like it's coming from behind several walls, but it's clear enough that it sends a shiver down his spine. Charlie, VO, startled. "All right, that's not normal." Charlie backs away from the door, his heart racing. He turns to walk back to the counter, but stops as he hears scratching again. He turns back, half expecting to see something, or someone, moving behind the door. Charlie, to himself, "Focus. You're imagining things." But when he looks at the door again, he notices something even stranger: the chains. They look slightly less taut than before, as if the lock had moved just a fraction. The screaming grows louder, though still faint. Charlie, VO, nervous. "Nope, nope. I'm not going there tonight. I'm sticking to the rules. Feed the cat. Check the locks. Ignore the screaming. Just do your damn job." He turns around and walks back to the counter, heart still pounding. He looks at Ripley, the cat still staring back at him with that one green eye, as if it's waiting for something. Charlie notices that the sardines he poured into Ripley's bowl are nearly gone. He moves to refill the bowl, taking the tin can from the counter and cracking it open. Charlie, muttering to himself, "This job is getting weirder by the minute." As Charlie is about to pour more sardines into the bowl, the front door swings open suddenly. Charlie, startled. "What the?" A man enters. He's tall, wearing a blue jacket and jeans, carrying a large duffel bag slung over his shoulder. He glances at Charlie, then at the counter. Man, gruffly, with a faint smile. "You the new guy?" Charlie is taken aback, still unsure of the situation. This wasn't what he expected. Charlie, awkwardly, yeah, just started tonight." The man nods, walks up to the counter, and sets his bag down next to the register. Man, casually, "I'm Mason. I usually don't come by, but I like to check in on the new hires." "How are you holding up?" Charlie stares at him, unsure of how to respond. He wants to ask why Mason is here, and why he didn't mention himself in the hiring process. But instead, he just nods. Charlie, hesitant, "I'm, doing fine. Just still getting used to the rules." Mason chuckles, though it's a bit hollow. Mason, calmly, "You'll get used to them. Believe me, they keep everything in check. But there's a reason they're there. Some things are better left unexplained." Charlie feels a twinge of unease. The man seems so nonchalant, but something about him doesn't feel right. Mason, looking at the register. "So, you met Ripley, huh?" Charlie just nods, trying to ignore the feeling of the hairs on the back of his neck standing up. Mason, seriously, "The cat's important, kid. Always feed him. He's part of the rules." Charlie glances at Ripley again, who's staring at him with that unblinking green eye. Uneasiness washes over him again. Charlie, uneasy. "What is it with this place and its rules?" The man picks up his duffel bag, ready to leave. Mason, casually, "You'll be fine. Just remember, don't break the rules and don't ask questions. It's easier that way." He leaves and the door creaks shut behind him. Charlie stands there, feeling more isolated than ever. Charlie, nervous. "I don't know what's going on here, but I'm starting to think this job might not be worth the paycheck." Ripley jumps up onto the counter and curls up next to Charlie's notebook. The lights above flicker again, and the screaming begins to fade back into the background, leaving only the deep silence of the station. Int. Gas station. Night. The clock on the wall ticks toward midnight, and the silence in the gas station feels thick, almost suffocating. Charlie stands at the counter, his fingers tapping nervously on the register, a vague sense of unease growing within him. He watches Ripley, the cat, who's still lying in the same spot on the counter. seemingly unbothered by the eerie atmosphere. Charlie, uneasy. It's quiet, too quiet, and I can't shake this feeling, like something's just waiting to happen. The air around him feels stale, almost suffocating, as if it's been trapped in here for years. The lights flicker again, casting long, jagged shadows across the room. He glances at the clock, 11:50 p.m. The night seems to stretch on endlessly. The low hum of the freezers in the back is the only sound that keeps him company, but it's a sound he's started to resent, as it feels like the hum itself is bouncing off the walls, echoing his growing anxiety. Charlie mutters to himself, "It's just a job. Keep it together, Charlie. Just do what you came here to do." Charlie stands up from the counter, pacing for a moment. He looks at the rows of dusty snacks and soda cans on the shelves. They seem ordinary, almost too ordinary, as if this station has been untouched for years. It's almost like time has frozen here. Charlie sighs, trying to shake it off. All right, just a job, a weird, creepy job, but a job. Charlie glances at the red door in the back corner. The chains are still wrapped tightly around the handle and the padlock still seems to be in place. But he notices something strange, the faintest movement, just a subtle shift, as if something inside the room behind the door is pulling at the chains, trying to escape. His breath catches in his throat. Charlie, whispering, "Did that move? Or am I just losing my mind?" Charlie shakes his head, trying to ignore the feeling of his heartbeat thumping in his ears. He takes a few deep breaths, trying to calm himself. The cat is still watching him. Ripley's green eye gleams in the dim light. Charlie looks back at the clock again. 11:55 p.m. Just 5 more minutes, and it will be time for his first night shift to be over. He'll get his pay and leave this weird, unsettling place. But the longer he stays, the more intrigued he becomes about what's behind the red door. Charlie, to himself, "It's probably nothing. Just some stupid superstition. Nothing's really going to happen here." He starts walking toward the back aisle, his feet dragging as he moves past the freezers. The screaming from earlier is faint, but it's still there, lingering in the air. It's a high-pitched wail, like someone is trapped, but the sound is muffled, as if coming from far away. Charlie pulls out his phone, but there's no signal. Just a few random bars that flicker in and out. Charlie, quietly to himself, "Great, no signal. This is perfect. Not even a text to distract me." The phone screen fades back to black as Charlie slips it back into his pocket. His steps grow slower as he nears the red door. He can hear the scratching sound again, louder this time, as if whatever is behind the door is trying to get out. He pauses, staring at the chain-wrapped door. It's almost like the door is calling to him, beckoning him closer. The idea of what could be inside fills his mind. Charlie, nervously, "Just check the locks, that's all. Don't touch the door, don't open it. Just check the damn locks." Charlie reaches forward, his hand brushing over the cold metal chains. The red padlock feels heavy under his fingers. He starts to shift the lock back and forth, feeling the weight of it. For a moment, there's an almost unbearable tension in the air, and then, click, the padlock moves. The door seems to respond to the sound, a shudder reverberating from the back. Charlie freezes. His breath catches in his throat. Charlie whispers to himself, "What the hell was that?" Before he can take another step, there's a faint sound, a soft, almost inaudible meow. He turns around and sees Ripley still sitting on the counter, staring intently at him. There's something almost warning in the way Ripley is watching. Charlie to himself, "What do you know, Ripley? What are you trying to tell me?" Charlie, feeling a growing sense of unease, steps away from the red door. He glances at the rules once again, which are now staring back at him from the counter like some twisted guide to the night. Rule 1, feed the cat. Rule 2, check the locks. Rule 3, ignore the screaming. The rules are starting to feel less like instructions and more like warnings. Charlie nervously chuckles. It's just a gas station. It's just a job. Don't get sucked into this, Charlie. But even as he tells himself that, he can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. He turns around and heads back to the counter to check the time. Charlie, muttering to himself, almost done. Just another 20 minutes and I'm out of here. As he turns the corner, something catches his eye, a photograph lying flat on the counter. It's an old black and white photo, slightly curled at the edges. He picks it up and studies it. The photo shows a family dressed in formal clothing, standing in front of a carnival booth. They look happy, smiling, holding balloons. But as Charlie stares at it, he realizes something strange. Charlie, perplexed. What the... The faces of the family members are missing, not blurred or faded, but cut off. There are no features, just empty space where their heads should be. The photo is disturbing, but Charlie can't look away. Charlie, uneasy. This is weird. Who would take a picture like this? He flips the photograph over, hoping to find something on the back. But there's nothing, just a blank surface. Charlie, to himself. Okay, that's it. I've had enough of this. I'm done here. I'm finishing this shift and leaving. Just as Charlie starts to move toward the door to leave, he hears a sound. The front door opens, Charlie turning toward the door, startled. What the... A man enters, tall and thin, wearing a dark jacket and boots. His face is unremarkable, but his presence feels out of place. He carries a large bag slung over one shoulder. He steps inside without saying a word, his gaze sweeping over the station, as if he's been here 100 times before. Man nodding at Charlie. You're the new guy? Charlie freezes, unsure of who this person is. The man approaches the counter, setting his bag down beside it. Charlie, hesitantly, yeah, just started tonight. The man gives a small smile, but it's cold, almost like a mask. Man, calmly, I'm Mason. I like to check in on the new hires. You'll be fine. Just make sure you follow the rules. Charlie looks at him, bewildered. Charlie, tentatively, rules. What rules? Mason's expression shifts slightly, his eyes narrowing. Mason, calmly, matter-of-factly. The rules, kid. Don't break them and you'll be fine. Don't ask questions. That's all. Mason picks up a cup of coffee from the counter and takes a long sip. Mason, nodding at Charlie. You'll get the hang of it. As Mason walks toward the back, Charlie is left staring at him, uncertain, his heart pounding in his chest. This place is starting to feel more like a trap than a job. Charlie, thinking. Something's not right here. Something is definitely not right. Int gas station, night. The clock ticks toward 1 a.m. Charlie sits at the counter, hands folded on the countertop, staring at the photo he found earlier. The faces are still missing. He can't shake the unsettling feeling that something isn't just wrong with the station. It's wrong with everything about it. Charlie, reflective, nervous. It's all wrong. The rules, the cat, the missing faces. Something's not right. I can feel it, crawling under my skin. Charlie drops the photo back onto the counter, rubbing his eyes, trying to focus. The screaming has stopped for the moment, but a subtle hum seems to fill the space. The atmosphere feels heavy. Like the gas station is alive, and it knows he's here. He looks toward the back of the station where the red door still stands, locked and chained. Charlie, quietly to himself. What's behind that door? Who's been here before me? Why is everything so messed up? Suddenly, a soft clink from behind the counter catches his attention. It's Ripley, the cat, nudging the photograph with its paw, as if urging Charlie to pay more attention to it. The cat's green eye gleams in the dim light, unblinking. Charlie, irritated, talking to Ripley. What do you want? You want me to look at the damn picture again? The cat meows softly and jumps down from the counter, walking toward the back aisle as if leading Charlie somewhere. He follows, his heartbeat quickening, but part of him is too curious to stop. Charlie passes by the old freezers, the air inside still cool and stale. He steps into the narrow aisle at the back, moving toward the red door. The chains still look taut, but the lock is shifted slightly, as if someone, or something, has tampered with it. Charlie, shaking his head. I don't know what's going on here, but I need to find out. Charlie crouches down, his fingers brushing. over the cold metal of the chains. He feels a slight vibration, like something inside the room is moving, pulling against its restraints. The hair on the back of his neck rises. Charlie, whispering to himself, "What the hell is that?" It's like the station's alive. Just as Charlie reaches for the padlock, the cat, Ripley, meows again, louder this time. Charlie stands up abruptly and turns to see the cat sitting at the end of the aisle, looking at him with intensity. Charlie mutters, annoyed, all right, I get it. Don't open the door, just don't." Charlie backs away from the door, trying to shake off the sense of dread building inside him. But he can't ignore the pulling curiosity, the need to know what's behind that door. He turns to leave the aisle when he notices something on the floor, a small, tattered notebook. Charlie, to himself, picking it up. "What's this? Looks like it's been here for years." He flips it open to the first page. The handwriting is faded, but still legible. He begins reading. Notebook entry. "The rules are everything. Don't forget them. Don't ignore them. If you do, it will come. It will come for you, just like it came for us." Charlie's eyes widen as he flips through the pages. The further he reads, the more paranoid the entries become. The pages are filled with warnings, each more desperate than the last. There are mentions of a man, Samson Field, the original owner of the gas station, and how he had an obsession with the rules that governed this place. Charlie, muttering, shocked, Samson Field. Who the hell was he? And what did he do here? Charlie keeps reading. The last few entries are filled with phrases like, "It won't stop until you follow the rules." "The red door is the key. Don't try to leave. Don't try to escape." Charlie, shaken, whispering to himself, This doesn't make sense. Why didn't Mason tell me any of this?" Suddenly, the front door chimes. Charlie jerks his head toward the entrance, feeling his stomach drop. He wasn't expecting anyone this late. A car engine rumbles outside, and the sound of tires crunching on gravel fills the silence. Charlie takes a step toward the door, confused. But when he sees the car outside, he freezes. It's the red Ford, the same car Charlie has seen in the parking lot the past few nights, always parked at exactly 2 a.m. He steps back, his heart pounding in his chest. The car's headlights are off, but the car itself is unmistakable. Charlie, panicked, whispering, "No, not again." This is the guy with no face, the one from the rules. He peeks through the window, the red Ford sitting there, perfectly still. In the driver's seat, there is a man, just like before. He doesn't move, and as usual, his face is missing. The man's skin is smooth, pale, and featureless, like a wax doll. Charlie, horrified. What is this? Who is this guy? Why does he keep showing up here? Charlie steps back from the window, his pulse racing. He can feel the air around him getting colder, heavier. He knows he should lock the doors, just like the rules say. He should follow the instructions, but something inside him tells him that it might already be too late. Charlie, to himself, frantic. "I can't just sit here, I need answers. I need to know what's going on here." With shaking hands, Charlie walks over to the rules sheet on the counter and reads the next line. Rule 4. Lock the doors when you see the red Ford outside. If you see the man with no face, lock the doors and do not let him in. He will not hurt you if you don't look at him. Don't make eye contact. Don't engage. The screaming starts again, faint but growing louder. The sound feels like it's coming from the back, just beyond the locked door. Charlie glances toward the back room where the red door stands, the chain still intact but now shaking slightly, as though something on the other side is struggling to escape. Charlie, terrified, whispering to himself, "I don't know what's behind that door, but I can't keep pretending it's not real." He turns toward the front door. The red Ford is still there, and the faceless man remains in the car. Charlie's mind races, but he knows that the only way out is to follow the rules. He takes a deep breath and steps forward, slowly walking to the front door. Charlie, calmly. Just lock the door, follow the rules. Then maybe everything will go back to normal. Maybe I can just leave and forget this. As Charlie reaches for the key, the faceless man in the red Ford suddenly moves. He lifts his hand and presses it against the window, staring at Charlie through the glass. Charlie freezes, unable to look away from the blank, smooth face. The man's expression doesn't change. He is silent. "Charlie," horrified whisper. I looked at him. I looked at him. Int. Gas station. Night. The front door is locked. Charlie stands behind the counter, staring at the red Ford outside through the window. The faceless man's handprint is still visible on the glass, though his figure has now disappeared. The screaming from the back room has grown louder, more intense, as if the walls themselves are screaming in pain. Charlie takes a shaky breath, his fingers trembling as they rest on the counter. He tries to force his mind to focus, but the weight of the unnerving silence in the station feels suffocating. His heart is still pounding in his chest, his body drenched in a cold sweat. Every instinct in him is telling him to run, but he knows that if he does, he might never escape whatever force is behind the red door. Charlie, nervous, panicked. This place isn't normal. None of this is. I can't leave. Not like this. But what do I do now? The rules are staring at him from the counter, each line etched into his mind. Feed the cat, check the locks, ignore the screaming. But now, it feels like the rules are guiding him towards something darker, something that's already out of control. Charlie whispers, "Ignore the screaming. Don't open the door. Follow the rules, Charlie." But what happens if I don't? His gaze moves toward the red door again. It's as if it's calling to him. The chains are still in place, but there's a strange shift in the air. The door is beginning to feel less like an obstruction and more like an invitation to uncover the truth. Charlie swallows hard and takes a step back. The screaming is unbearable now. It's coming from behind the door, louder and more frantic. It's not human. At least not in the way Charlie understands. The sounds are inhuman, as if something is trapped, trying to break free. Charlie, terrified. What the hell is behind that door? And what will happen if I go in there? Suddenly, the lights above flicker, casting the room in a distorted, blinking glow. For a brief moment, Charlie sees Ripley, the cat, sitting on the counter, staring directly at him. The cat's one green eye seems to glow with an unnatural intensity, and Charlie feels a chill crawl up his spine. Charlie, softly. "What do you know, Ripley? What's going on here?" But before he can get an answer, there's a loud knock from the back, a thudding sound, followed by the scratching again. The sound is unmistakable, coming from beyond the red door, growing more urgent with each passing moment. Charlie moves to the door, his body tense, his nerves frayed. He feels the pull of whatever is behind that door, but he also knows he needs to make a decision. He has to act, but fast. He takes the key off the counter and approaches the red door. His hand shakes as he inserts the key into the lock. The metal clicks and the chains rattle in response, as if the door itself is aware of his presence. Charlie, muttering, "I have to know. I can't just keep running from this." He turns the lock. The door opens with a creak, revealing what's behind it. The air shifts immediately, cold, stale, and unnerving. The room beyond the door is dimly lit, with a single flickering light hanging from the ceiling. Shadows crawl along the walls, making the place feel more like an abandoned storage room than anything else. At the far end of the room is a large rusted metal door, with more chains wrapped around it. There are scratches on the floor, long deep marks that seem to have been made by something being dragged. Charlie steps inside, his heart pounding in his chest. The screaming is still there, louder now, like it's right behind him. He turns quickly, expecting something to leap out at him, but there's nothing, just the sound, filling the room with its painful and unsettling echo. Charlie, whispering, terrified, "It's not real. It's not real. Just stay calm." He moves to the metal door, running his fingers along the cold chains. The locks are heavy, and they look like they haven't been touched in years. The chains have small marks on them, like they've been forced open and closed multiple times. Whatever is behind this door has been locked away, but someone has been trying to get out. Charlie feels a wave of dread wash over him. He wants to turn around, lock the door, and pretend he never saw this place, but he can't. He's too far in now. Charlie, struggling with himself. I can't leave. I have to know what's behind this door. I have to. He approaches the metal door, reaching for the lock. The moment his fingers touch the cold metal, the screaming intensifies. Louder, closer. It feels like the sound is coming from inside his own mind now, pounding against his skull. Charlie jerks his hand back, but then, with determination, he grabs the lock and pulls at it. The chains rattle, and for a brief moment, it feels like the whole room is shaking in response. Charlie, whispering to himself, I've come this far. I can't stop now. He pulls harder, and with a loud snap, the lock gives way. The door is now free, but Charlie hesitates. He glances back over his shoulder toward the entrance. He can still hear the scratching, but the feeling of dread grows stronger. Before he can change his mind, Charlie steps forward and opens the metal door. The room beyond is dark, except for a few dim bulbs hanging from the ceiling, casting long shadows that seem to move on their own. Charlie, quietly, breathless. What the hell is this place? He steps inside, his eyes scanning the room. The air is thick with the scent of dust, mold, and something far more unnerving. Something decayed. There's a wooden crate in the corner, covered in dust, and strange symbols painted on the walls. As Charlie walks deeper into the room, he notices something in the center, a large rusted cage. Charlie, horrified, whispering, No, this can't be real. The cage is empty, but the inside is marked with deep scratches, and there are broken chains scattered across the floor. In the corner of the cage, there's a scratched-up piece of paper, a note, hastily written in blood-red ink. Charlie picks it up and reads, Note, the rules are everything. If you break them, it will come for you. The man with no face. He is a part of this place. You cannot escape. You can never leave. Charlie, breathing heavily. This is insane. This isn't real. This isn't real. I'm dreaming. I have to be dreaming. Suddenly, the door behind him slams shut, locking Charlie inside. Int. Gas station. Night, the air is thick with the smell of rust and decay, the kind of stench that makes Charlie's stomach turn. He stands in the center of the dark room, the metal door now locked behind him. The flickering lights cast sharp shadows that seem to stretch unnaturally long, moving like living things. Charlie, trembling, almost in disbelief. I should have never come in here. This place, this thing, it's not real. It's not real. The note in his hand still feels sticky, its crimson ink still fresh in his mind. It feels like the room is closing in on him, the walls squeezing inward. Charlie stares at the paper, his eyes tracing the last words. You cannot escape. You can never leave. He drops the note, his hand shaking as he moves toward the center of the room. Ripley is nowhere to be seen, and for the first time since he arrived, Charlie feels completely alone. Suddenly, there's a loud bang from the corner. Charlie spins around, heart racing, eyes darting from one shadow to the next. The scratching sound from before his back, louder, almost frantic. Charlie, terrified. No, 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 no. Not again. Please, not again. The screaming starts again, high-pitched, distorted, echoing through the room. It's no longer a faint noise, but a full-on wail of pain and desperation. It feels like it's coming from all directions, wrapping around Charlie, tightening its grip on his mind. Charlie, desperate, shouting, "What do you want from me? What is this?" He moves toward the metal cage, his hands outstretched as though seeking some kind of answer. His breath is ragged, the cold sweat running down his face. He can hear it, the voice, The presence that's been watching him from the beginning. It's not just the faceless man. It's something older, something that has been trapped in this place for a long time. Charlie, whispering broken, "I can't do this. I can't handle this. I just need to get out. Please." Click. A light flickers above him, and then the room goes silent. Charlie freezes, his heart hammering in his chest. He turns to look at the red door. For a moment, the scratching and screaming stop, replaced by an eerie stillness that feels even more suffocating. Charlie, paranoid, quiet. What's happening? Why is it quiet? He steps cautiously toward the door. He reaches out, his fingers trembling as he touches the lock again. The padlock is cold, and it seems to hum with some unnatural energy. As his fingers graze the lock, a deep growl rises from behind the door. The scratching resumes with violent intensity, as if something is trying to break through. Charlie's heart races, and the air feels heavy with the weight of the unknown. Charlie, panting, determined. "I have to get out. I have to get out." But as he moves back toward the entrance, the front door suddenly slams open. Charlie, startled, spinning around. "What the?" It's the faceless man again. His red Ford is parked outside, but this time, he's standing in the doorway, the screaming now replaced by a deafening silence. He stands motionless, his pale, featureless face locked in a perpetual, unblinking stare at Charlie. Charlie's breath catches in his throat. This isn't the same man who's been lurking outside the station before. This one feels different, more present, more alive. The air is heavier, as though the man has brought something with him. "Charlie," horrified whisper. "No. No, not you. Again, what do you want? What is it that you want from me?" The faceless man doesn't move. Instead, he raises one hand, and the green cane he holds is pointing at Charlie. The cane isn't just a prop. It's a warning, and Charlie feels it in his bones. Man, faceless. Voice is distant, unnatural, like it comes from another realm. The rules must be followed, or else the consequences. Charlie staggers backward, his mind reeling from the unnatural voice. His hands grip the counter, and he can feel the coldness of the wood seeping into his skin. His pulse is a drumbeat in his ears. Charlie, desperately, broken, I didn't know. I didn't know the rules. Please, just let me go." The faceless man steps inside, and for the first time, Charlie sees the man's shadow stretch across the floor, unnaturally long, like the man's presence is warping time. Itself man, faceless, softly without emotion. The rules are everything. Disobedience is not tolerated. Suddenly the red door creaks open just slightly. For the first time, Charlie sees movement behind it. A large, shadowed figure stirs, but it's impossible to make out its form. It's as if whatever is behind the door is pushing to get out. Charlie, horrified, realizing, this is what it's been waiting for. The rules were never about keeping things in check. They were about keeping me out. The faceless man steps forward, and with a swift motion, he raises the green cane. It's like time slows down for a moment as Charlie feels an overwhelming surge of panic. His limbs grow heavy, his vision blurs, but he knows there's only one choice left. Charlie, screaming in terror, "I can't do this!" With a desperate motion, Charlie lunges toward the red door, his body surging forward despite his fear. He reaches for the handle, and in that moment, everything goes still. Charlie, quiet, almost inaudible. "I have to do it. I have to face this." Thud. The door slams shut just as Charlie's hand touches the handle. The lights go out, plunging him into complete darkness. The scream of the entity behind the door starts up again, louder than ever, closer. Charlie, shakily, breathing heavily. I've done it. I've broken the rules. And now it will never stop. The faint sound of meowing interrupts the silence. Ripley appears at Charlie's feet, looking up at him with those green eyes that seem more knowing than before. "Charlie, looks down at the cat and then back at the locked door. The supernatural force is closing in, and Charlie knows there's no way out. His mind breaks, and he feels the overwhelming weight of everything that has happened. Charlie, resigned. Some things are just meant to stay locked away. I should have never asked questions. But now, I don't have a choice. I'm trapped here. Forever. Charlie slumps to the floor, defeated. His eyes drift to the photograph of the Faceless family, now lying forgotten on the counter. Charlie, quietly, barely audible. I was just trying to survive. But the rules were never meant to protect me. They were meant to keep me here,